What is going on? I'm Zedmont. It is Halloween, so happy Halloween to you. We have the OG villager skin. Not sure if these guys played a role in the idea of skins, but you've got the pumpkin head and the ghost and the skeleton and all the rest. There are also ghosts floating around, and it is a great time to practice your ghost squishing skills. One of you commented and said you try and see how many times you can squish a ghost, then you end up touching something else like a tree or a mine, and it gets a little bit frustrating, but we are going to check that code Zedmont in the shop. It is active. Then I'm going to show you two different tech trees for your tricks and treats. Now, I have been losing to some very, very bad players in the last couple days as I saved up all of the keys to get into 5 engine rooms, and I have got two different 5 engine room paths for you today. We are going to start on this one. I somehow managed to collect in gold yesterday on this one. I got super lucky. This is my Grens with Flare account, and today I jumped into the 5 engine room level, and the two very, very, very different paths here are up to get those yellow buses, which is what I recommend. I'm going to be losing with it right now, but longer term, people have gotten buses and jumped straight into diamond. Shout out to Luke if you're out there on the tubes. So also, people like the second account I'm going to be showing you, which have building health and building damage, and boom cannons, and shock launchers, and rocket launchers, and hot pots. You are not going to be able to get an engine room against those players. It is going to be 32% to 21% sort of wins, and it's not going to be very fun. So, two very different options. I'm going to show you this one first, and it's going to kind of suck, because the account that I'm going to show you right now is probably going to lose, and we are going to be getting closer to getting those yellow buses, and the account I'm going to show you secondly is probably going to win, and it's going to be boring as all heck. So, gotta put in some losses to get the wins. A little bit frustrating, but come back in a couple days and then it'll all be magical. So we have laser rangers. You only need tick 1 mechs. This is very, very important. Don't waste your keys on mechs. I mean, you can bump them up if you want to do some quick calculations and see where your token numbers are at, but generally speaking, they have 18,000 health. That is a lot of health. And they do 757 damage per second, which is not great compared to these ladies, which just crush everything everywhere. So I am going to lose. This is going to be my first recorded attack. I've done one attack so far with these things. I had mixed in grenadiers, and I tried. Anyways, it's ugly, but we're going to give it a go. I have seen the basics of this attack. I believe it was Nightwada and or Gabriel in Join at Own Risk that shared a couple replays, so shout out to those guys. This is going to be ugly, though. This is going to screw up, because what happens is your troops come over here, and then you're trying to loop around, and all of your laser rangers are like 8 times faster than your mechs, and they just run ahead and get hit in the mines, and they die, and you get frustrated. So this is going to be probably somewhat brutal. I told you we're going to lose in this account. I'm not exaggerating. This is going to be brutal, brutal, brutal. We do have flares, though, so we can try our darndest to get through as much of this stuff as we can. Don't need the laser rangers quite yet. Don't want the laser rangers quite yet. And the reason for that is we need to get this stuff out front to clear all of the mines. Just clearing everything, like literally all of the things. Need to get them going, need to get them to fan out a little bit. And now look at that, we've already got 1 laser ranger, 2 laser rangers that went the wrong way. So this is going to be a lesson in frustration, just like the last little bit, saving up those keys to move forwards. But we've managed to get 10 laser rangers still alive, which hopefully and probably should be enough as we throw some critters back there to distract that doom cannon, and then these ladies just burning through things. This is the great part about laser rangers. They just have so much damage, and they shoot through things, and you collect GBE so quickly. They're fragile as all heck, though. And note that we have to come back through all of these mines, so we need to plan things a little teeny tiny bit. So we're going to drop something like that, using our opponent's shock mines to our benefit. Look at that. I love using our opponent's shock mines. And now we need to flare over here, otherwise those ladies are all going to be dead. Machine guns and mortars at the edge are super, super frustrating, but we've got a total of 3 laser rangers left. Now, they're probably going to arrive to that sniper tower first, so we need to get even more critters out. And now, just hoping and praying that somehow, some way we can get any sort of DPS through this. Probably not going to be able to do it, but so far we've got 3 laser rangers left on life support, and the heavies did not clip those boom mines, so now we're down to 2 and just trying to get onto that final engine room. And notice that I did not flare that engine room right away because laser rangers shooting through the sniper tower was probably better, and we got a time of 141. Not super duper quick, but maybe. Is it going to be enough for a win? Probably not, as our opponents use mechs and grens. So mechs on their own, not so great, but you probably also have max level grens, which might be a better call than what I was just doing, but I'm all about forcing the laser rangers. We're gonna try one more. If you have replays or attacks, do let me know with laser rangers. Like I said, I am just getting started. I'm only using 2 boats. Might want to mix in some more heavies and fewer mechs, but this is nice to see. I can't wait to get back there and burn through all of that stuff, but for the second, we need to get through it. So, you know what? I'm going to go something like that. 3 and 3. We are going to just double check the range of that machine gun, just making sure we can squeeze through on that P2 side, and now just dropping all of this stuff and flaring down to about here. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Getting those critters out, and then just trying our darndest to get rid of getting that mortar shocked. Get that mortar shocked. There we go. Got the mortar shocked, and now just getting away from that gosh darned machine gun. And then we'll throw some critters back there, which I probably should have done a lot earlier just to get rid of that machine gun. And now we should be able to just burn through all of this stuff. Losing some troops on the walk. Definitely we are down to only, what is that, 18 of our laser ranger ladies, but walking back there is also going to be frustrating. So if you don't have flares, I don't really recommend investing in laser rangers, because as you can see here, they are just running ahead, trying. It's like those kids on when they're trick-or-treating, running ahead of their parents into traffic on dark streets. You need flares. You need flares. You need flares. Now we've gotten a little bit of distance. We've got our heavies up front. We've got our critters distracting things as that mortar crushes most of our laser rangers. See those parallels trying to connect what trick-or-treating with laser rangers? I like that a lot. Probably ridiculous, and it probably makes you shake your head, but I am also the person that seeks out dad jokes just to make my kids cringe. Let's get on to something. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. 2 minutes 13 seconds. Meh. Not terrible. My base needs to be changed. It is not good. So don't use this base. It was thrown out to me by King Klung, I believe it's how you say his name. He was base shopping, was suggesting this one might work. I don't think it will work terribly well. So he wasn't saying it was good. He wasn't saying it was a winner. Don't get me wrong. So shout out to him for sharing the base when hunting for a base without boom cannons. I'm going to switch that up. So I wouldn't recommend using that one. I also wouldn't recommend using this one because I have just dropped the boom cannons completely willy-nilly. I have been using this base as it... need to move that back. We're going to move that back into there, and we're just going to drop these boom cannons in here and hope that we can make some people fizzle. This base is not gonna go super duper well. I literally just took my existing base and dropped the boom cannons down, so I don't recommend it. Generally speaking, there are going to be better bases out there, but we will give this a go, and I'm gonna move you back a little bit closer. I know someone's gonna drop critters on top of it, but that should be no big deal for the most part. Trying to make it so they clear as few mines as possible. Let's move you on forwards, and let's see how that goes. Now, before we do that, here is my tech tree. It's a absolute gong show. We've got boom mines and building damage and building health, and if we look at my log, it's not doing too bad. 36 to 21, just brutal. Like, just ugly percentages. Not... By the way, shout out to Racer Boy, absolutely crushed me. It's not a lot of fun. It is slow, it is grindy, and getting a chest takes a lot of attacks. And the only way I'm getting a chest right now is by matching against a player with a weak base or in the 4 engine room level. So once everyone moves to 5 and everyone gets boom cannons, it's going, like right here, yay, we can get 1 engine room. Now, do I choose to... what happens is, on these kind of bases, your troops, without flares, everything goes over there, and then they target that machine gun, and so everything wraps into here, and everything dies. So the options are one of 2 things. We send, like, 1 boat over there to get that stuff, and then try to keep all the rest of our troops up this left wall. And that's what I'm going to try to do, but I've screwed it up many times in the last little bit. So we are going to send you up front at the top of the ramp. That way we know it's going to get that left one, then go to the right, and then hopefully we just wait a little bit, and then we send a boat of heavies along with them to try and deal with that cannon. I have screwed this attack up so many times in the last little bit, and so I'm expecting to screw it up again, but it's the only way that I have any chance of getting those back engine rooms. Is without flares. It's so frustrating, like so frustrating. And now we can drop all of this stuff to the back left, because we know at least one of our tanks is going to turn the wrong way. Hopefully we get at least 2 going to that right. You see, there we go. We got 2 going to the right, so we should be good. And now we just need to get that stuff clear. Getting some heavies up that left-hand side, using that 1 tank on that far right to clear a couple extra shock mines. It's not pretty, my friends. This is just absolutely brutal. Our opponent has retreated. We could retreat right now, but I am going to keep moving forward. Trying... Oh, no. Oh, no. Didn't look at that right-hand side, didn't use my critters on that right-hand side, and as a result, we ended up not getting any engine rooms on that right-hand side. So now we just need to get a bit lucky, and we are not going to do it. So just absolutely getting pummeled on all sides, and I don't think we're going to get an engine room. We're going to be too low on GBE, and probably should have sent 2 boats to that right-hand side, but 5 engine rooms. Boom cannons, 0 engine rooms versus 0 engine rooms. Just, oh, this is like, where are we looking at here? Where are we looking at? Have not used this button in too long. Definitely should have gotten an engine room there. So to get 10 stars is good, but needed to get an engine room there. And let's show you what Helen did. There's a Helen Keller joke there that I just can't make, but wandering around trying to get an engine room and just not being able to find one. I guess I kind of just did make the joke, but that is cringe. My apologies. Trying their darndest and just getting a decent... this is a pretty gosh darn good percentage, showing that this base is not going to stand up, but... And they had 50% troop damage. So, Helen, that was actually a great hit, but I needed to get an engine room there. Like, need to get one when they're free, because as soon as we get up against a boom cannon and shock launcher opponent, it's going to be an instant loss, basically. So, Do I have enough keys? Do I have enough keys? Let's just double check. We are at 20 there, plus 16 there, assuming I can claim in gold. We are going to be able to add shock launchers, which I probably should pause and then come back with shock launchers just to show you even how more ridiculous they are. And that's why I haven't built a base yet. Because finding a base with boom cannons and shock launchers is super, super simple. Finding a base with just boom cannons, not so easy. So what I'm going to do is just be lazy and win and lose and not care. And then once we get shock launchers, I'll do a little mini push, hopefully. Probably too late to do that push now, but I don't know if I can get 19 with shock launchers. I've already got 18, so it's one of those ones where I'd rather just sit here and eat all my kids' Halloween candy. Spinning. So, Halloween, kids, my kids, one of them is going out as a bottle of mustard, which is quite interesting. Number 2 kid is as a lumberjack, again, interesting. And number 3 kid is going out as a leprechaun, and he's got red hair, and he's 15, and he's still going out trick-or-treating, and which is going to end up in some mischief, but that is okay by me. Now, where do we go here? We're going to go something like this. And again, no flares means I need to go to the left and try and get one of those engine rooms. The one on the right was probably easier, but that doom cannon also does worry me quite a bit. And I'm a little bit concerned that my tanks, that we're going to turn to the right. That's why I did not drop many tanks. And when you don't have flares, you need to play it a little bit smart. We're going to drop something there, just trying to distract that doom cannon for a little bit as some of our troops make their way down the ramps and along the decks and all of the rest of it. This is not gonna go super duper well, but we can drop some critters there to distract that doom cannon for a little bit. This base does have some blind spots, which is gonna help us a little bit, but it's not gonna help us enough. Just not having flares, not having Grens. There are just so many issues with this tech, and it is not a lot of fun to play, but the wins are there, so really do like the fact that I can give you guys 2 drastically different tech trees to check out, but it is not a lot of fun. This is just like watching paint dry. Some of you commented at the very beginning saying Zedmot is recommending tanks, and if I can get, I might be able to get that back engine room with just critters, so that is going to be looking good here. We're going to get 1 engine room for certain, just making gosh darn sure that we throw those critters as far as we possibly can, getting them against that back wall, and now we're going to get an engine room with critters. Hooray! So much ridiculousness. We are going to lose. Almost certainly our opponent is using Grenadiers, I would say. But this is your other option. Hopefully, I have swayed you towards going to the offensive side of the ball. If not, do let me know what your plans are for finding opponents that you can beat and just walking. Ooh, that's actually quite impressive. They had Bullet, that is why. So, Bullet is going to be your savior if you want to walk through some of these bases. I don't think that Bullet for me would work, but maybe? So finding opponent crushed me. At least I got an engine room though, so we are 1 step closer to shock launchers, and shock launchers should help with Bullet. I should end the video here. You know, yeah, we're going to do that. So do consider subscribing to see the beauty of shock launchers. It will be boring as well, but what's the long-term play for the defensive side? Maybe wrap back through that engine room to get heavy choppas? I don't know, to be honest. That seems like about the only play, because once we get, like, I assume it's going to be a hot pot, but maybe, I don't know. Do consider sticking around. We'll see how that goes. There are some players who will be having heavy choppa, rocket choppa soonish, which is crazy considering the fact that I'm using tanks and heavies with no flare. Will heavy choppas work with no flare, that would be beyond, that would just be take it to the next level of boring. So hopefully you guys have or had a great Halloween, or you're shaking your head saying we don't celebrate Halloween. Maybe you do Day of what is it, Dia de los Muertos, or whatever the heck that is. Regardless, hopefully your Thursday/Friday are fantastic. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Peace.